Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to see State Board Class 8 Science chapter number 11, and in that the fun part already we have completed in the human body and organ system. The first part what we have studied that was related to the respiration. In that we had already studied about the external respiration, internal respiration and the cellular respiration. Not only that, the respiratory system already we have studied, and in that the various organs which are involved like a nose, pharynx, windpipe, lungs, this already we have studied. And the the last one, the diaphragm, which we have studied, which helps in a breathing process or the respiration process. Now, related to the previous part, you have one activity which you have to complete. That is, you have to draw the diagram for the respiratory system. The diagram is given in your textbook. That particular diagram you have to draw and post back in the classroom app. Now, today we are going to start with blood circulatory system. In this, we are going to learn about the heart and the complete circulatory system, how the heart is functioning, and what are the different parts or the different components inside the heart we have, what is the structure of the heart we have, that we are going to see. Because generally when we talk about the circulatory system, it is nothing but the function of transport of various substances like water, hormones, oxygen, soluble nutrients and the waste materials through different organs, and to pump the blood. Because when we talk about the entire body, we have a head to the toe, different organs are placed or involved in the body structure, and each and every body organs are made up of a different tissues are made up of a cells, and each cell requires the nutrient energy they require, and that they are gaining from the different food what we are eating. And the food what we are eating, from that all the nutrients are absorbed, mixed into the blood, and that blood should reach to each and every cell. And that work, the pumping of the blood to each and every cell, is performed by the heart. So that heart and the structure and its function we are going to see in this particular topic. If you will see in this heart structure, this is the proper structure of the heart, what we have, the external look of the heart. And the size of this heart is almost equal to your fist. Whatever the size of your fist, almost a similar size we have for the heart, and the location of a heart is almost a center of the rib cage, and it is well protected inside the rib cage. Now, when we talk about the heart is normally, or generally, it's divided into two components, or the two compartments we can call it, the left side and the right side. And after this, each compartments what we are having, or the each side of the heart what we are having, is further divided into two. Means overall we have total four compartments, or the four chambers in the heart, and that's why we call it as a human heart is a four chambered. The upper part, we call it as a atrium. We call it as a atrium. So this is what we have is a right atrium. This is a left atrium. Same way when we talk about the lower portion of the heart, we have a ventricles. So this is your right ventricle and this one is your left ventricle. So these are the four chambers we have in the heart. If you will see in the next picture, it is much clear. You can see over here in this, these are the two lower chambers, the lower one. These two are the two lower chambers which we call as the ventricles. The right ventricle, left ventricle. And this side we have the right atrium and this one as the left atrium. Now, when we talk about the right side of the heart, that contains the deoxygenated blood. It contains the deoxygenated blood, means the blood from the entire body is collected and brought into the heart, into the right atrium. First we will see how the blood is going inside the heart. Then this blood enters into the right atrium from the entire body. Then after that, from the entire body, when the blood enters into the right atrium, after that it goes into the right ventricle. From the right ventricle, it goes to the lungs. The purification of the blood is also important. That already we have studied in the previous part of the chapter, in the first video for this particular chapter. In that already we have studied about the lungs. So deoxygenated blood. Deoxygenated blood means in which the level of oxygen is the least we have, or the maximum the waste gases we have, like a carbon dioxide. So that blood goes to the lungs. Then after the purification process into the lungs, purification means only the oxygen is added, and that oxygenated blood is brought back. It's brought back to the left atrium. Then from the left atrium, it comes to the left ventricle. And then from left ventricle, again that oxygenated blood is pushed and it's given out to the entire body. Means that blood goes into the entire body. So this is about how the heart is doing its all pumping of the blood. Deoxygenated blood and oxygenated blood both are present into the heart, and they both are sent in at a proper site wherever they are needed. Like the deoxygenated blood goes to the lungs and then the oxygenated blood goes towards the body. Now this is about the functioning of the heart, how the heart is functioning. Further, when we talk about this structure of the heart, this entire flow of the blood into the atrium and the ventricles, and the ventricles to the lungs, lungs to the heart, this all is controlled by the walls. If you will observe in it, we have the walls over here, walls over here. Same way here also the walls are there. Now the further part is blood vessels, because when we talk about this particular flow of the blood, means from the body to the heart, heart to the lungs, lungs to the again heart, then heart to the entire body, and then again the cycle will goes on. And that's why the circulation system, the one thing which I have to add over here is the circular system in the human body is a double circulation system, because to complete one cycle, blood comes 2 times to the heart. First, that deoxygenated blood collected into the heart 1 time, and then that deoxygenated blood goes to the lungs, lungs to the again heart it comes. So 2 times it became, and then from the heart to the entire body, and then again it is brought back. So that's why it is called as a double circulation system in the human body. Further thing is blood vessels, that is the structure and functions. what we have the structure and the functions. When we talk about the blood vessels, they are very important to carry the blood into the body, and then body to the heart again. Now this function is carried out by the two important vessels. They are called as the arteries and the veins. Arteries are nothing but which carries the oxygenated blood. You can see over here this red color is nothing but the oxygenated blood, and this blue color they have shown over here is nothing but the deoxygenated blood. Now this two, they are very important in transporting the fluids, nutrients, water, and most importantly is the blood. Now this particular artery, if you will observe, artery is having a thick wall as compared to the veins. Veins are having a thinner wall. Now this, why they thicker and the thinner wall? Because the arteries carries the oxygenated blood, and it is from directly from the heart. So heart, when it pumps the blood, it pumps with the pressure. So to absorb that pressure and to sustain in that pressure, the wall should be thicker for the arteries. On the other hand, the veins, they are carrying the blood from the body part to the heart. So there is a less pressure we have into the veins, and that's why the position of arteries and veins, when we talk about, arteries are deeper into the body and the veins are at the top surface under the skin. What we can observe, that is nothing but the veins, and arteries are deeper inside the body because that pressure is supposed to be maintained. Now the further is when we talk about the junction of this arteries and the veins, because arteries and veins, they are little broader in a diameters. So the each and every cell, when they are supposed to get the blood, they are placed in between the small tube like or the web like structures. These smaller parts or the smaller tubules, they are nothing but the capillaries. Capillaries are nothing but the junction of arteries and veins in the body. They are connected with each other with the capillaries. They are very thin hair-like structures, we can call it. They are very fine tube-like structures which gives out the blood into the cells, and then it's recollect from the cells. You can see that they are recollecting and bringing back to the vein, and here it's getting distributed into the capillaries. So this capillaries, they are also one important part. You can see over here the structure. The arteries which carries the oxygenated blood, this carries the oxygenated blood, and this passes to the each and every cell, and then it's recollected back and brought to the veins. So this is nothing but what the structure of the capillaries we have. All the information regarding this capillaries they have mentioned over here. Now the another important things what I have to mention is a healthy person, they are having 72 beats of heart per minute. This is a healthy person at a normal condition. Even when we will walk, when we speak, when we run, when we do any physical exercise or the physical activity, that time the heartbeat increases, and the sound of the heartbeat is nothing but the loved up. The heart pumps about 75 ml of blood during each beat, and this heart is made up of involuntary muscles, and these muscles are not in our control, and that's why the heart beats continuously. Further is a blood circulation through heart and the functioning of heart, which already we have discussed. Next is about the blood. When we talk about the blood is a red color fluid material. It is a fluid connective tissue actually. Why it is connective tissue? Because it connects each and every part of the body. The oxygenated blood is deep red colored, salty in taste, and the pH is 7.4. These are the important things they have mentioned. It is a deep red color, salty in taste, and the pH is a 7.4, means it's slightly alkaline. Blood is composed of mainly two components. One is a plasma and one is a blood cell. So plasma is nothing but what? Is a pale yellow, clear and slightly alkaline fluid. It contains 90 to 92% water, 6 to 8% proteins, and 1 to 2% as a inorganic salts. Along with that, it contains the albumin, distributes the water all over the body, globulins, protection, and then the fibrinogen and the prothrombin help in blood clotting process. Inorganic ions, that is calcium, then the sodium, potassium, control the function of muscles and nerves. On the other hand, when we talk about the blood cell, the another component of the blood, it contains of the red blood corpuscles, which we call as RBCs, the small circular enucleated cells. These cells appear red due to hemoglobin. Oxygen dissolves in our blood due to hemoglobin. 50 to 60 lakh RBCs are present in each cubic millimeter of blood. RBCs are produced in red bone marrow and having a life of almost around 100 to 130 days. Further is white blood cells, WBCs, which we call. These are large nucleated and colorless cells. Remember, RBCs are enucleated, means they don't have the nucleus, whereas the white blood cells, they have the nucleus. And white blood cells are colorless. 5,000 to 10,000 WBCs are present per cubic millimeter of blood. 5 types of WBCs are present, that is basophils, eosinophils. You can remember this. Then the neutrophils, monocytes, and the lymphocytes. WBCs are produced in red bone marrow. WBCs act as a soldier in our body. It is nothing but the protective cells of our body, which protects our body from the different kind of the external pathogens. Further as functions what we have for it, these cells attack the pathogens entering our body. They protect us from the microbial diseases. Next part what we have in the blood cell, that is the platelets. These are extremely small and disc shaped. 2.5 to 4 lakh platelets are present per cubic millimeter of blood. And the functions what we have is nothing but the platelets, which participates in the blood clotting process. So this is about the blood they have given. Then the functions of blood they have given, that is transport of gases, which already we have discussed. Then the transport of the nutrients, then transport of waste materials, then the protection that WBCs are doing, then the transport of enzymes and the hormones. Thermoregulation means maintaining the temperature of the body, then maintaining the balance of minerals like sodium, potassium in the body. And if bleeding occurs in the injury, platelets and proteins called fibrinogen of the blood form a clot and seal the injury. So this is about the blood we have. In our next video, the next part we will discuss is about the human blood groups, how the different blood groups are divided, the blood pressure, and some more interesting facts regarding the blood we are going to see in the next video. And after that, the next to next means this upcoming second video, we will have the exercise for this particular chapter. Now at the end, you have the one more activity, the one already I have given in this particular video, and the another activity which I am giving to you is the diagram number 11.3, that is structure of heart and blood circulation. So in that only you have to draw the third diagram, that is the structure of heart. That you have to draw and you have to post back to me. So this is all about this particular video, and in a coming video we are going to see the human blood group and the blood pressure.